Thought is the movement of time. I'll go very carefully into it. Please, let's go together into it. Thought is the movement of time and space, which is, thought is memory, the remembrance of past things. Thought is the activity of knowledge. Knowledge which has been gathered together through millions and millions of years and stored as memory in the brain. Please, the speaker is not an expert on the brain. But if you observe your own activity, you will see that experience is the basis of our, and knowledge is the basis of our life. And knowledge is never complete. It must always go together with ignorance. See the important, please understand this. Knowledge, we think, is going to solve all our problems. Whether it is the knowledge of the priest, the guru, or the scientist, or the philosopher, or the latest psychiatrist. But we have never questioned whether knowledge in itself, not about something, you understand the difference? Whether knowledge in itself can solve any of our problems, except perhaps technological problems. So we must go into it. Knowledge is comes through time. If one has to learn a language, you need time. If you have to learn a skill, you need to have time. If you want to drive a car efficiently, you have to learn about it. That requires time. You have knowledge, how to drive, how to do something skillfully for a carpenter or a surgeon, or to put together a computer. You must have knowledge, which means time. That same movement, which is movement of time, is brought over to the psychological field. Right? There too we say, I must have time to learn about myself. I must, in order to change myself from what is to what should be, I must have time. The same activity as in the technological world, we brought over that same movement into the psychological world. You're following all this? Which means that time is a great factor in our life. The tomorrow, the past, and the future, and the present. Right? So, time is thought. Time is the acquisition of knowledge through experience, both there in the world and here inwardly, requires time. That is what we have been programmed. You're following? Are we understanding each other a little bit? And yeah. So, being programmed, the time is necessary to bring about a deep fundamental change in the human structure. We employ thought, right? Which is, I am this, I shall be that. As you would say in the technical world, I do not know how to put together a computer, but I will learn. Right? So time, knowledge, memory, thought, they are single unit. They are not separate activities, they are single movement. And thought, being of time, must be limited. Right? Thought, the outcome of knowledge, and knowledge being incomplete, thought must everlastingly be incomplete. Therefore limited. Right? And whatever is limited must bring about conflict. Nationality is limited. A religious belief is limited. An experience which you have had or which you are longing for is limited. Every experience, I don't want to go into that for the moment, it's too complex. Every experience must be limited.
Why?
Because there are more experiences. I may have an experience sexual, the experience of possession of wealth, the experience of giving up and going to a monastery. They're all limited. So knowledge is limited. And so thought is limited. Thought, being limited, creating problems, national divisions, economic divisions, religious divisions, racial divisions, which is happening in the world, and therefore bringing tremendous conflict. And having created the problem, thought says, I must solve it. And so it is always functioning in the resolution of problems. You understand? I want to get to this. See what we are doing. And the computer, which has been programmed, can outstrip all of us because it's no problems. It evolves, learns, moves. I won't go into that for the moment. So, our consciousness, which we have been programmed as the individual consciousness, right? We are questioning whether that consciousness which you have accepted as individual is actually individual at all. We are thinking together, don't resist it. Don't say what will happen if I'm not an individual. Something totally different may happen. But as long as we have been programmed through time endless, that we are individual, our consciousness is individual. Is that so? You may have a skillful individual training in a particular trade, in a particular profession. You may be a surgeon, a doctor, an engineer, and so on. That doesn't make you an individual. You may be tall, short, black, white, purple, whatever color it is. That doesn't make you individual. You may have a different name, different form. Does that make individuality? Or the acceptance, the brain that has through time said I am an individual, and it is my desire to fulfill, to become, to struggle. So we are examining that so-called individual consciousness, which is yours. Whether that individual consciousness is not the consciousness of the entire humanity, apart from the training as a doctor, as a surgeon, all that. We've got